Minimal talent and relentless training versus natural talent and overwhelming confidence. The beauty of Soshiro Hoshina working alongside Kaiju number 10 is the embodiment of the phrase, opposites attract. We've seen funny instances of Soshiro wanting to approach battle from the left, while Kaiju number 10 wants to approach from the right. Or even whenever Hoshina wants to finesse a fight, yet Kaiju number 10 wants to attack things head on. But I think the thing that truly describes why Hoshina and Kaiju number 10 are opposites is that Hoshina fights to live, while Kaiju number 10 lives to fight. And we'll talk about that in this video. Let's get into it. Soshiro Hoshina is subscribed to the channel and he's liked this video. So why haven't you yet? But on a real note, Hoshina fights to live. It is a simple statement, but it holds so much weight when talking about our boy Hoshina. He fights kaiju so that he can protect citizens and the ones that he loves, but he also fights to literally prove his existence. Being a swordsman is all that Hoshina has ever been good at, and he doesn't have the marksman skills to be a shooter at all. So the only way that Hoshina could prove to his family and himself that he was of any value was to master the art of the blade, especially when compared to his flawless older brother Soichiro Hoshina, who his family calls the ultimate incarnation of the Hoshina bloodline that has also been taking out kaiju since the Edo period. Soshiro's whole life has essentially been him fighting to prove that he lives, while Kaiju number 10 is the exact opposite of that. Kaiju number 10 was created by Kaiju number 9 for the sole purpose of invading the 3rd Division Tachikawa base and to be a monster for destruction, which, might I add, he has done a pretty good job of. But when Kaiju number 10 showed up to the base, it wanted to fight the strongest person there. And when it lined up against Hoshina, it even called Hoshina its rival. So you can see those early glimpses that Kaiju number 10 thought that a rival was somebody that can match it in strength. It wants to measure itself in terms of strength. And in defeat, Kaiju number 10 stated that it wanted Hoshina to weaponize it and use it. That way it could continue the thrill of battle. At the end of the day, Kaiju number 10 does not care whether it's fighting a human or a kaiju. Bro just wants to smoke. And it shows in battle as well. Kaiju number 10's only strategy in battle is to charge in head first with brute strength. It knows it's stronger than its enemies and it wants to take advantage of that. That is that overwhelming confidence in itself. Plus in kaiju form, it's much more acceptable to charge in head first with confidence when you know that you can regenerate. When you fight to live, you take much less of a risk. You can be a master of something like Hoshina, but taking less of a risk is also holding yourself back in a way. This approach in battle is cautious, but vicious at the same time. Think of it as like the safe gambling option. While when you live to fight, you're risking it all in yourself. You're taking full risk, but you're leaving yourself the most open to counters. To even be able to think this way just shows the confidence that you have in yourself. These differing ideals are the current problem that Hoshina is facing in his fight with Kaiju number 12. Kaiju number 10 is the prototype of what Kaiju number 12 is. Not only that, but Kaiju number 9 also gave Kaiju number 12 the ability to rapidly adapt to fighting situations the same way that 9 can. And 9 gave 12 Isao's knowledge of Hoshina's fighting style. So for this reason, Kaiju number 12 is stronger than Kaiju number 10 since 10 is the prototype, but it also knows how to fight like Hoshina. So it's literally the worst of both worlds for our boy. And from the recent chapters, we've even seen that this extreme ability to adapt even allowed Kaiju number 12 to learn Soshiro's single sword style on the spot, just from watching Hoshina's form when using this. There are no hidden attacks that Hoshina has left in his arsenal. Kaiju number 12 has Hoshina at death's door, and he had virtually given up on life. Hell, as the reader, even we thought that Hoshina had lost an arm and maybe even his life. But one thing changed that: the will of Kaiju number 10. Because Kaiju number 10 lives to fight and his back is against the wall, he's more excited to fight number 12 than ever. 10 is ready to risk everything just to win a fight, while Hoshina lost sight of who he was because he lost a fight. That's exactly why these two need each other though. We've already talked about Hoshina's drawbacks, but he also balances Kaiju number 10 out. 10's willingness to risk it all is exactly what got him weaponized to begin with. He underestimated the strength of the 3rd Division at the Tachikawa base, and for this reason, Mina, Hoshina, Kikoru, and the rest of the squad took out him and the Wyvern raid. Over the course of time, Hoshina has taught 10 how to respect a strong opponent. No moment showed this more than when Hoshina adapted on the spot to fight number 12. It was here that Soshiro combined his 2-sword fighting style with his single sword fighting style, and even Kaiju number 10 looked up to finally acknowledge just how amazing Soshiro really is. Soshiro and Kaiju number 10 need each other on the battlefield, yet neither of them understand it. Hoshina's bloodline is a long list of ancestors that have been slaying kaiju since the Edo period, while Kaiju number 10 was a kaiju created just to fight against humans. So they are quite literally natural enemies, yet they're natural complements at the same time. In chapter 91, we were left with our best collaborative panel of this series, where 10 told Hoshina, let's go do what we love and have some fun. This panel, combined with Hoshina's foundation breaking, with all those rocks crumbling and tumbling, might be my favorite series of panels in this manga, dog. Matsumoto showed how all the foundation of Hoshina has built since he was a child has just been toppled and broken by Kaiju number 12. Hoshina had worked his whole life to master swordsmanship, yet 12 could replicate everything that Hoshina had trained for just by watching him. Hoshina thought that this was some sick joke, that he put in all this effort to learn this, yet 12 was doing it on the spot. In Hoshina's eyes, 12 was the exact same thing as Soichiro, naturally better than him at everything with little work. And this is what broke Hoshina and left him in a childlike state. But this panel is why this imagery is beautiful and possibly my favorite in the series, where we see a broken Hoshina as a child sitting next to his new comrade and sensei, Kaiju number 10. To think that a kaiju is the very thing that is saving Hoshina, a human, from himself is just so ironic. Kaiju number 12 fully broke Hoshina, but Hoshina is about to become a completely new fighter because of it. Kaiju number 10 and Hoshina are going to unlock a completely new fighting style together, and my prediction is that it's going to be a Zoro 3-sword style where Hoshina uses his double blades while Kaiju number 10 operates as his tail, and that'll be the 3rd blade. Regardless of what they are fighting for, they both have a genuine love of fighting. Hoshina has done nothing but train the blades his whole life. When you've mastered something the way that Hoshina has, it shows your true love and desire to get good at something. While we already know that Kaiju number 10 is the biggest smoke-loving character in the series. So while they are opposites in mindset, they're the same in terms of what they love to do, and that's fight. This mutual love for action is what will lead to the full mental sync between the two in my mind, and it will allow Hoshina and 10 to possibly be the first characters with 100% unleashed combat power. Funny enough, they couldn't even reach over 83% previously, and a great deal of this had to do with Kaiju number 10 and Hoshina's mindsets that we were shown in chapter 73. When these two were first unveiled in action together, Kaiju number 10 didn't respect the true strength that Hoshina has and just wanted to run amok and do whatever it wanted to do, while Hoshina isn't willing to take any sort of risk to win. Once again, Hoshina uses his rationale and common sense in fights, while Kaiju number 10 is trusting his brute force to overcome, which is Kaiju number 10. I mean, come on, yo. So this fight that Kaiju number 10 and Hoshina have had with number 12, we needed every single chapter of this to flesh out the relationship between these two characters. Matsumoto has done an amazing job at showing just why Soshiro and Kaiju number 10 work so well together. They both have what each other lacks. Opposites attract, and that is the beauty of the relationship between Hoshina and 10. So you already know the vibes. If you watch this video, arigato. And if you want any more kaiju content, bro, just watch the other kaiju content on the channel. If you want to join our Discord and talk about any series that we talk about on the channel or some other anime and manga, I will post the Discord link in our description. And other than that, y'all, I'll catch you later. Peace.